Hello and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Last time we built this wonderful storage system here in Minecraft using the storage drawers mod and the simple storage network. I think this has been a major upgrade for keeping track of all of our stuff that we keep mining and building as we go. But today, I want to start working on getting us towards power generation. And that means immersive engineering. I think we're going to start with water wheels and maybe even some windmills for our first power generation before we get to the later stage stuff. And this will set us up so that we can start doing some mechanism and other mods that require electricity. So for today, we're going to clear out an area and build the items that we need to build water wheels, which means treated wood in immersive engineering. So let's get started. Here's our to-do list for the next couple of builds that we want to do. We need to get treated wood from immersive engineering, first of all, and that'll allow us to do our basic power setup using water wheels. From there, we can start doing some mechanism, and then we can loop back to solar for our official power generation. But for today, that means we at least need to set up a coke oven to start smelting down some of our coal into coal coke. That will release creosote oil for us, which we can then use. Now, as you might recall from the last episode, we actually broke through the wall of our base here and ended up having this outside area that we ran into. That's not ideal. But it does mean that it gives us areas to start building on as well. So I think the first thing we're going to do is frame out a bit of a room here to put some of our immersive engineering stuff in. And as you can see, I already started clearing a little bit of it, but we have a lot more we need to do here. So first things first, we're just going to frame this out real quick, put in a stairwell, and make this another section of our base here down below. All right, so let's get building. Now for this build, again, we just need to rough this in. I just want a room that we can put some machines in for right now. I am going to give us a slightly higher roof, I think, than I normally do for these builds, though, just because I don't want there to be any running into the roof as we are building this out. I want to be able to have plenty of space to add machines and whatnot, and that means running wires, cables, pipes, all of that good stuff here. Again, for right now, we're just going to use cobblestone out here. We're not going to worry about anything fancier for our build than that. It'll look fine, but again, probably won't be the final material that we use for this build. And you can see the path that went to the village previously through here. Again, the landscape generation means that it's just kind of awkwardly going to the side of a mountain rather than something that's going to be a part of the actual village. Or who knows, maybe the village designers thought that that would be a good way to lay out a village. And you can see I'm turning on, with the F7 key, the map to show us where light is too dark, and that we're going to need to light up the space a little bit, because monsters will spawn in any areas that are in the red there, and the yellow if we're not nearby, I believe, as well. There we have it. All we wanted to do for right now is just build a big box, just a big room to start putting machines down in. Again, this isn't going to be permanent. It's just temporary. So it can be very, very ugly, and we're totally going to be fine with that. We're going to live with it. Okay, so now what we need to start doing is working on actually setting up our immersive engineering coke oven. And for that, we need coke bricks. Coke bricks are made out of sandstone and brick and clay. We, of course, do not have the sandstone, but we do have sand, so we should be able to make that pretty quick. So we just type in sand, grab a stack of sand, and let's see here. I think we need 9 sandstone to start. And of course, we just drop the items back in here. and automatically it'll find a place to stick all of the items. So the sandstone, for instance, is going to be probably over here. Yeah, over here. It doesn't necessarily always put them in the best order. So, we do have to kind of manually shuffle things around for now. It is the side effect of using a simple storage network. It finds the first open slot and just plunks down items in there. But we can live with it for now. So we need 27 coke bricks, as I recall. So we grab those. Oh, and we're going to need a little bit more clay. That's easy enough to get. We have our clay blocks here. So let's just plunk those down and we break them. And that'll turn clay blocks into clay blobs, which are used for this recipe. Okay, perfect. Now all we need to do is go here and finish out our recipe. So there we go. We can drop the blobs in here, and then it'll know to use those to make them. And I think, there we go, perfect, 27, just what we needed. Okay, now we need to go grab our engineer's hammer real quick, which we got in the very first episode but haven't used yet. And you know what we're also going to need here is a whole lot of coal. So let's grab a whole bunch of coal up. And I'm actually going to turn these into coal blocks for now. So we'll do 1 and 2 for 14 blocks of coal all together. And then we run back down here. So I think we're going to start off here on the left-hand side and give ourselves a little bit of space because this doesn't require any power, and then work our way around the room. So we are going to want to automate this eventually, but for right now, we're just plunking things down. So it's 3 by 3 by 3 of coke bricks makes a cube. And then you whack that right in the center with the engineer's hammer, and it turns it into a multi-block structure, the coke oven. The coke oven, all you need to do is feed it coal, and it'll get started, and then it'll turn that into coal coke. Blocks of coal turn into blocks of coal coke, and that creates this creosote oil that we mentioned before. This actually is, again, something that's true in real life. If you have a fireplace, you may be familiar with creosote oil because as you burn logs, this oil can build up inside of your chimney and cause a major fire hazard. So that's a bad thing. But in this game, it's a good thing because we use that to make treated wood. So now we have to let this burn down slowly, and then that can be used in here to turn into creosote oil, and then we take the creosote oil out and use that to make treated wood. So that's going on. We can start to build out some of the other things that we're going to need for this mod. Okay, so the next thing we also want to create is the blast furnace, and that uses blast bricks. Now, unfortunately, blast bricks require blaze powder, and we're going to need at least 9 blaze powder to be able to get there. That means a bare minimum of 5 blaze rods, and for that, there's only one place to get them. Yeah, friends, it's a Halloween episode. We're going back to the Nether. We're also going to need a bunch of... Okay, back out our portal. We'll just collect up. We only are going to need 27... wait, no, more than that. A lot of netherrack. Let's see, 9 times 4, 36 netherrack altogether to make the amount of nether bricks. So we'll just grab up here a stack. That's good for now. And now we need to go hunting blazes. So we'll just do some exploring around the map here and see if we can't find a spot where blazes are. Okay, after much searching, I finally have found my first nether fortress. Oh, and right off the bat, here are a couple of blazes. Okay, made quick work of them. But yeah, we need 4 more of those blaze rods before we have enough. Oh, there we go. There's a blaze spawner right over here. That'll make for good hunting. Oh, but I think we are going to lose before we get to the number that we need. Let's duck around the corner here and try and fill up some of our health real fast. And again, this is classic Minecraft's hunger mechanism that just refills our life instead of having to eat and fill up our hunger bar and then life filled up slowly after that. Okay, 2 more. There's 10. Oh, got me. Now I'm on fire. How are we doing? 3. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close, friends. Just need 2 more. Come on. Come on down here. There we go. Oh. Well, losing is going to happen a lot, especially since we don't have any serious armor protection yet. I could make a full suit of iron armor at this point, but it's just not worth the time. We just need a couple of blaze rods. Okay, a little bit cheaty, but we're going to go use the waypoints feature to go back to our last death and revenge ourselves. Okay, we've got 5 blaze rods now, all 5 that we need to continue. So that's all we actually have to do in this area. I'm going to actually edit this and just make sure that we know in the future that there are blazes here. There we go, confirm, so we can come back to this at any future date if we need to fight more blazes. But for now, let's teleport back to our portal home and go make our blast furnace. Okay, back at base. So we come over here into our crafting grid and first turn our blaze rods into blaze powder. Then what we need to do is cook up some nether bricks. So let's do that. Okay, now we have all of our items needed for these blast bricks. So we move them here, drop all of our blaze powder and everything else. And we just need 27 of these. Oh, a couple of bricks short. Let's go ahead and grab those bricks real quick. Okay, let's try that again. So, more bricks. And 27, exactly what we need. So, we are good now on our blast bricks. So, let's take that downstairs. And we're going to give ourselves a little bit of space here because at some point we're going to be upgrading the blast furnace as well. So we'll put that over here about 3 blocks away. And it's exactly the same pattern as the coke oven. It makes it really straightforward to build out. There we go. And same trick, hit it with a hammer. And there we go. We have a blast furnace. And it looks like this thing is all filled up. So we can take out, with our fluid tank, which I built in a previous episode. Fluid tanks are really simple in mechanism. It's just redstone and iron for the basic fuel tank. So that's already filled up with cruciate oil. And we can use that to make some planks. But we're not going to do that quite yet. First, I want to pull out the coal coke out of here and go grab a couple of blocks of iron because we're going to turn those iron blocks into steel. So let's just grab, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we've got 9 in there. Let's use all 9 here inside of the oven. So we put the coal coke in the bottom and we put the block of iron on top. Now, when you're doing blocks, I think you get basically 1 extra because of the speed that it burns. So instead of needing 1 block per block of iron, I think you actually get, it's like 8 for 9 or something like that. So we're going to get a block of steel out of this, and we're also going to get slag back out, which is a material you can use for a couple of things, but it's not especially useful in and of itself. Okay, so we've got that cooking. And we will just keep an eye on that and come back in a few minutes when we've got at least 1 piece of steel so we can do the next little bit. Okay, so we've got our furnace set up, and that is going to be smelting iron now. And while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and use our creosote oil to make some treated lumber, some treated wood. And that is going to then be the basis of our water wheel. So first things first, we are going to need to do this a little bit manually, unfortunately, because that is the nature of this mod. You can't use, I think, a fluid tank in the place of a bucket. But for right now, we're going to grab 2 buckets full of creosote oil, and now we're going to look for treated wood. So treated wood planks. There we go. First, let's get ourselves a little bit of extra wood here. We'll just dump this in here, and we will wrap this around, and that'll give us 8 treated wood planks. We'll do that again and take our bucket back, and now we're just going to do that a couple of more times. There's 8 there. Oops, we lost the bucket. There we go. Grab that back. And 8 more there. And the last set of 8 here. Great. Okay, so that gets us a whole bunch of treated planks. And we had a few treated sticks already, but we don't have enough to complete what we need to do. So now we need a water wheel. As I recall, you can have up to 3 of these connected together, and note that the middle is going to be steel. So if we have 3 water wheels, that means we need 12 water wheel segments. So we can only make 1 to start because we don't have enough sticks. So treated sticks are real easy. All you have to do is put planks above each other, just as if you were doing regular sticks. Okay, so we're going to need 12 of these. We're going to dump all of these items in here, and that'll let us do the maximum number. And so we're at 9. That's not quite enough. We still need a few more. So just snatch up a few more treated sticks. Okay. Oh, are we short on treated planks? Yeah, we're a little short. We need 1 more. Okay, so let's just do that real quick. All right. And there we have it. So that's 12 water wheel segments. And we'll just pick this back up. We'll don't want to leave that laying around. It's a fire hazard, you know. Okay, so we have a block of steel there and some slag. We'll take the slag out. And it looks like no more coal has cooked down yet, but give it time. And then we'll come up here. Let's convert our steel block into steel ingots. And then we're going to make 3 water wheels. There we go, 3 water wheels. Okay, so that's the first piece of the puzzle. Now, the water wheels aren't going to do anything unless you actually hook them up to something. So for that, we're going to need the capacitor and the wire connectors, all of the things that go together to make a full power system, a mini power grid here. And we're also going to need, there's a rotational piece that generates electricity. And I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. Oh, right, kinetic dynamo. That's what we need. So one of those. So for that, we're going to need some copper. And for that, we need copper wire coils. And for that, we're going to need some engineer's wire cutters and some copper plates. And for that, we're going to need a hammer. So we're going to go make a bunch of stuff and some copper real quick and see you back here in a second. Okay, so we smelted down some copper. And now we're going to make a few more pieces here. So first things first, we're going to need a bunch of copper plates, which we can make by taking the engineer's hammer and putting it in our crafting grid with a copper ingot. So let's do, I don't know, like 32 of these. Yeah. And that'll leave us a little bit of copper to play with. And then we're going to take those and cut them up into copper wire. So we'll go ahead and do all of that, which gives us 32 copper wire. Now, later we'll have the stamping machine, and that will allow us to instead get 2 wires for every piece of copper. But for right now, we don't have that stamping machine, so we make do with what we've got. All right, more sticks. Gonna need sticks. Always gonna need a lot of sticks for this particular mod. And then we're gonna go ahead and use up the rest of our copper wire. Oh, actually, it needs to go that way, right? Okay, and now we've got copper wire cables. So these are LV wire coils as compared to the other higher end cables. So we've got MV and HV, so low voltage, mid voltage, and high voltage, each of which are used to transmit different amounts of electricity over a given wire. But for here, we only need the low voltage ones for the kinetic dynamo, as I recall. Probably also going to need a capacitor when we're building. So that's going to need, well, we're not going to need that straight away, but we'll need it soon enough. So we're going to need a copper coil block first, which is made from 8 coils and 1 piece of iron. And that is used for the kinetic dynamo. Where did the kinetic dynamo go? Dynamo. Okay. There we go. So now we have the kinetic dynamo. Now, obviously, all of this doesn't get us anywhere if we can't transmit the power from place to place. So we need the LV wire connectors and relays. So we'll do, oh, we need some terracotta. Let's go cook some terracotta real quick first. Okay, we've got terracotta now. Again, we just bake down blocks of clay, and that will give us the chance to make some of these wire connectors and wire relays. So first we need some wire connectors. I think we're going to need, yeah, let's start with 8. And then we'll do some wire relays. Maybe a few more off here. Good. And then we have a bunch of LV wire coil left. Now, this is going to be uninsulated coil for right now because we don't have enough tough fabric to wrap it in. That means there's going to be a lot of instances where we accidentally electrocute ourselves. I'm just putting that up front so nobody is surprised when inevitably I walk into something and I shock myself, because that's going to happen. So hopefully it won't be shocking for you all. Haha. Sorry, you have to put up with the jokes if you're watching the channel. Okay, so now we have all of the pieces of our power setup. We have a water wheel, some wire coils, wire connectors, wire relays, and the kinetic dynamo. That's all the pieces of our puzzle that we're going to need. The last thing we're going to need, however, is some water for our water wheel to actually generate electricity off of. Thankfully, we have water right over here, which will provide our source blocks for water. But as far as where we're actually going to put the construction for our water wheel. Okay, so I think the place that we want to do our power generation is towards the back here, where we're already going to be running our various items anyway. So I think that is the trick here, is to put our power generation from the water wheels over here. Now, if you've ever played with Immersive Engineering, you probably know that water wheels are at their maximum efficacy when they have water flowing on multiple sides of them. So I think what we'll do, we'll just go ahead and build it into the wall for now, which will make this easy. So we stick our kinetic dynamo here, and then we put our water wheels off that. There we go. So we have all 3 water wheels there. And then we just frame this in. And I'm just going to use wood. I think it's going to probably look the nicest. A darker wood would probably look better, but for right now, I think this will do fine. There we go, like that. And I think what we want to do is have the water... Oops, looks like this last one didn't line up properly. There we go. I think we want the water to flow back out underneath here. Just like this. So let's see, that should be 3 blocks down. So we want it to come up over the top and then back out the backside. So for that, we do need to frame this in a little bit more. And I think, is it 1 more block out? I think it's 1 more block out. Maybe? Well, we'll try it real quick and find out. The water wheel will immediately tell us whether or not we screwed this up. Okay, and then the backside will need to be framed in too, but right now we just want to see where the water is going to flow. So let's clean out a space here. And the other thing we're going to do is build an infinite water source. And again, classic Minecraft physics. We just need 2 buckets of water for that. And now we have an infinite water source. Okay, so let's build up to the top of that and see where these planks are going to need to go. Yeah, we'll just go up the side. Like that. I know it's going to need to at least be framed in all the way. Like so. Okay, and if it's going to go this way across it, the question is this going to be far enough to allow that to happen? Let's find out. Okay, with a whole bunch of fiddling, there we have it, our water wheel actually spinning. The trick here was the angle at which the water has to flow over the water wheel. And this is the part that always catches me up. So you want the water source block to be just at the back of the water wheel. But if you put the water source block here, it's just going to spill straight down, and that won't cause it to turn. So you put a row of blocks here at the back underneath first, and then you can see them right there, and then you break them. And when you break them, the water will start flowing across the water wheel, and the wheel will start turning. And then as a result, that means you're getting power generation. Now, I don't have the water coming out the backside. I have it flowing around inside and then back down this way, so to where we started here. And of course, my extra water source blocks here in case we need them later. So that should give us our initial power generation. From there, all we have to do is go back inside our base and hook up our cable. So we put it right here in the wall, and I believe that our dynamo, depending on the direction it's turned, should give us power generation immediately. So we put our LV wire connector, and yes, as soon as we put the connector on there, you'll see 256 IF. That means we are generating power. So every tick, we're getting some electricity in there. And yeah, we have all of this set up now. So from there, we can start running the power around our base. And I'll just set up a couple here temporarily for where our machines are going to go in the next episode or two. So we'll put up a wire relay here and a wire relay here. And I believe we can put up to 4 wires off each of those. And then we grab our wire coil and we connect those up. As you can see, we got the advancement birds on a wire. So there we have it. We have power. And as promised, if I touch this wire, oof, yes, it hurts me because this is live current. Eventually, we're going to want to go ahead and replace this with insulated cable. But hey, for now, we have electricity generation all set up, in addition to an early source of steel production. Now, this is really cool too, because steel, there's a couple of ways to make it in this pack, but for right now, cooking down blocks of iron in the blast furnace is going to be the best and easiest way for us to do early game steel right now. So yeah, steel production, electricity production, all the things that we need now to start in on mechanism. So the only thing left to do in this episode is to check the item off our list. Okay, and there we have our updated list of things to do. We have finished our storage section in the previous episode. We got treated woodworking in this episode. We got power generation. And now I've updated our list for next couple of episodes. We want to get mechanism enrichment machines running. We probably want to get started on Ender IO for the cables that it provides. And of course, we also want to get some solar energy production to increase the electricity that we can generate here quickly and easily. But for now, I think this has been a really good and super productive episode. All the additional stuff that we've added in here, I'm really happy with, and I love the way things are coming together. We also probably need to go back and clean up our cobblestone box that we have for our mini base over there. So maybe we'll do that next episode as well. But for now, this is going to be the stopping point for this episode of Enterprise Architecture. Thanks again for joining us here as we build some interesting new creations and machines, and we'll see you here back next time. Bye, friends.
Bert!